we have inalienable rights. We cannot do this. Now, of course, in positive law, we can do this. We can say, we can take slaves, we can sell ourselves into slavery. But it's a crime in natural law. Okay. Now, the problem with freedom, where you do not have in natural law the right to give away your freedom or to have it taken away without warrant, property is a different class. So it's life, liberty, and property. Now, property you can alienate. You can sell your house, you can sell your car, you can, and buy cars and buy houses. So how to handle that? Well, when it's yours, it's inalienable. And what makes property yours is you work it. Now, in Western culture, we've got this thing, 40 acres. So that's about enough to sustain a family, to have enough left over for the lean years, farming, whatever else. Well, so that 40-acre tract is what people work, because that's what you can work. If you can work that, then it's yours to keep. Well, with our Industrial Revolution and our abilities to mass produce and mass farm, then came the ability to aggregate enough power to start bringing people in and hiring them to work on your farm or to work in your factory. So you get these people who will give up their abilities to do their own thing, to work their own jobs and work their own farmland and go work for others. And then this concentrates power into fewer and fewer hands. And the others is also part of the process of specialization, diversification, specialization. Well, this industrialization, of course, grew. Specialization gave us more and better goods. The economics lesson in one chapter regarding the making of pin. Well, of course, this system of aggregating the power allows people to get more and more land. The laws had to change to permit that factory that was spewing forth filth onto other people's property. The laws had to change, or did change, to allow that factory to do so. So the pollutions we have, all the problems with the environment, all that, come from the courts and the businesses. Businesses getting so big, getting together the courts, and the courts saying, well, we want this. We want these factories. We want these huge farms. We want all this employment. So for the good of the more, we will tell the old woman, too bad for you, you lose out. The factory employs a lot of people. It is great for national defense and that kind of thing. So we're going to we're going to change the laws where big factory is so important that we have to rule in favor of the big factory. Well, that's where we're getting into the, take a long story short, the problem is high-risk mortgages crept north. Well, the whole problems that we're running into economically now is that system is unsustainable, where you have an aggregate more and more. The other thing is, what percent of our economy is through exploitation? How often do we take this system of mass production, move it into a country like the Congo, and impose it on a country like the Congo? Then we take the best and brightest out of the Congo, educate them at Harvard, send them back, let them run a government in which they love us. So the powers that be tell the Congolese people this is the way it's going to be, therefore we are oppressing the Congolese with our system. Now, in natural law, it's wrong to take more than you can handle yourself. If you can't handle it yourself, then you don't take it. You don't develop some sort of extra ability to leverage what little power you have to go on and leverage over other people as well. When that occurs, what you get is dislocation. What you get are the problems that we see in Africa today. Now, the solution, of course, is in natural law. If you violate natural law, you're going to get cosmic, you're going to get karmic, you're going to get, I think the Bible says something about crimes that cry out to heaven for vengeance. Well, a lot of the things that we're doing overseas are crying out to heaven for vengeance. Pope John Paul II writes a book where he talks about the contours of evil. Evil can only go so far before it starts to collapse back in on itself. What those levels are, who knows? But we see the system kind of falling apart right now. Well, we see a system falling apart. We see the Hamiltonian system falling apart. The Jeffersonian system has not fallen apart. The small farms, the organic farms, the small businesses. The solution is to get back to the law rooted in natural law. Okay, the people who were there were first working the land. It's theirs. If you want to work with them, you have to approach them on their rules, on their basis. So the only way this could happen, if we wanted diamonds out of the Congo, small businesses, and only small businesses with no power, go and approach the Congolese and work with them and decide how they will get the diamonds out of the land, out of their land. And as much land as they can work, of course, in natural law, that is their land. So it's small businesses that work with small businesses. Over time, 50, 100 years, whatever, the Congolese begin to get the ability to work their own lands and then come and reach whatever's right for them, a modus operandi with the rest of the world. Why is it that small countries, that indefensible countries like Singapore and Hong Kong, well, Switzerland's defensible, the Vatican, Andorra, San Marino, Iceland, are peaceful and prosperous. Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, there's so many places around the world. I think I said Singapore. But how do these countries survive if they don't have these huge defenses? Well, they do business, and generally small business. So there's the radical root, not extremist, radical nature we have to go back to, is get more and more people involved in small businesses and small businesses working with small businesses. There is a racist thread in Western philosophy, in the Hamiltonian philosophy, that says these inferior cultures, calls them inferior cultures, need to be oppressed. We need to come in and show them how to do things. Well, the problem with that is if you take, say, Congolese 200 years ago, primitive cultures, if you will, or go out to the coast to Angola and the other areas, where Portuguese and Spanish slavers kidnapped people. Some of these people were slavers, some of these people just villagers, what we would call primitives. Take them over to the United States and enslave them. Or take them over to the Americas, enslave them. So primitive peoples, it's right in this philosophy to enslave them. Let me ask you a question. If these are primitive peoples, how do you explain where it took we Anglo-Saxons some 2,000 years for us to develop the culture where we can manage ourselves and to get into the position we are today? It took us about 2,000 years to do that, where we take primitive peoples and bring them over to the United States, and within 2 generations, they're nearly shoulder to shoulder with us. If they are so primitive, how did they achieve the ability of a Dred Scott to argue a Supreme Court case? Maybe the primitiveness just happens to be that they live in a Garden of Eden, and everything they could possibly want they could have without developing an industrial base. I don't know. That's a big question, something people should review. Problem is, it's wrong for us to take a system that is wrong, this Hamiltonian system, impose it on a country, and then when they resist, respond with violence. This is all wrong.